Raising Vibrations community, and hello my Gemini friends. And today we're going to be looking at your sun sign forecast for December 2016. Okay, now the first thing that I want to say is that I think December is going to be a month where a lot of change is going to take place. Okay, it's going to be very wacky in that way, from my feeling at least. I feel that 2016 was a year that brought an incredible amount of purifying and purging and experiences of, really getting in touch with what is essential for us and what isn't. Okay, so it's been quite a horrific year. I think that December is going to be that year that amplifies the whole entire 11-month cycle. So it's a really, really big deal. And for you, a lot of 2016 and a lot of what since 2012 has been for you as a constellation has been around what are your personal limitations. Okay, how are you becoming empowered, right? The deepest desire here is what type of empowerment, what does empowerment look like to you? Okay, so a lot of your empowerment is going to be deeply connected with looking outside of yourself, seeing things that symbolize empowerment, and then attaching yourself to them and then evolving yourself through that symbol. And the experience brings you deep awakening, right? Like deep in sense of, wow, I'm growing. Okay, so that's already really big story for you, since at least 2008, but now it's really, really amplifying itself quite a bit. You've got Uranus situated in your 11th house of the astrological chart, which is here, and Neptune in your 10th. So, and you've also got a lot of your planets in this part of the chart, right? The sort of approaching the midheaven experience. Some of your symbols sit in the 7th house of relations. Some of your symbols sit in the 8th house of shared resources. And some of your symbols sit with what is my life direction? Okay. So in terms of 2012, in terms of 2016, a lot of this story for you has been, I'm trying to find life purpose, life meaning. I'm trying to empower myself in this life purpose, life meaning, what is my direction? What gives me meaning? And how do I connect with a group of people that reflect this, right? How do I become part of a tribe? How do I become part of a group that supports my ideas, gives me a sense of home, allows me to feel like I am able to make connections, have my ideas supported, and so on and so forth, right? So a lot of this is, been what you've been working with. Now, Saturn's been in Sagittarius for quite some time, and he's also transiting your 7th house of your astrological chart. So of course, the emotional growth that you're experiencing is still around relations, right? Still around what is fair for me, what is fair for others, how do I understand other people's boundaries, how do I understand my own, how do I make connections with other people that support me on my journey to empowerment, who are the types of people that reflect more of my self-identity, and so on and so forth. So that is a lot of what Saturn's growing you up in 2016, or has been. Now the sun today is at 14 degrees Sagittarius, and today's the 5th of December. And of course, we're dealing a lot with how does your relationship dynamics begin to play out, where your creativity, your sense of expansion, your sense of what gives you purpose in life, again, coming back to that same theme, how does that play out? What does that look like for you? And this is going to be heavily emphasized by your social connections, your social sphere. All right. Now, Uranus is making a trine to Saturn. So, of course, you're going to have a lot of energy being sort of focused on this dynamic, and you're going to have a lot of your outdated definitions really be brought to the surface. A lot of people might be saying to you, this is the time when these friends end, and this is the time when new beginnings begin for you, where new relationships emerge in that way. Now, if we look at the more personal planets of Mercury, Venus, and Mars, we can see that Mars has been transiting your ninth house of the astrological chart for the last month, and will continue to go there until the 19th of December, where you will transition from, I'm interested in learning higher knowledge, like taking a course, reading a book that really opens up my mind, wanting to travel, to, okay, I'm kind of in my place now. I'm really feeling withdrawn a little bit. I'm feeling a little bit restricted in my my direction, and I would really like to know, what does my life direction look like? So I think from the 19th onwards, you're going to begin to really get familiar with that question. What does my life direction look like? Where am I going? And of course, because Neptune's going to be conjuncting, Mars will be conjuncting Neptune. It's, towards the latter end of December. It's going to be very difficult for all of us as a collective to really know what's real and what's not real in this experience. So just kind of chill out a little bit up until maybe the 15th of January, I would say, until you really, really get good feeling on answering that question. All right. Now we've got a Mercury retrograde that's happening on the 19th of December as well. And Mercury's been flirting between your 7th and 8th house. And of course, a big part of the story for you is going to be, how does my friends look, and how do I then begin to know who to trust, who not to trust, who to open to, who to keep exactly where they are? What is trusting? How do I allow myself to think about sharing with others and getting something in return for that, right? So there's an opportunity here to open up your boundaries around what is intimate for you and what isn't intimate for you. And again, a lot of this is going to be obviously pushed through because of Pluto's transit in your 8th house as well, and Venus also playing a very large role in the 8th house transits, right? You can see that there's Venus at this stage, and he's been moving through this period of time for the last month as well. So a lot of what this last month's been for you in terms of your relationship dynamics and what values have had, Mercury's going to come along and kind of rewrite that script for you. Okay. All right. So I think the last thing that I just wanted to say was Saturn square Chiron is going to happen on the 28th. And this is going to bring us into, and bring you into, a deep, deep realization around how does your social sphere influence your life direction, and where do you find yourself separate from, or how does your self-identity separate yourself from the life direction? Okay, so social sphere and life direction will come into fray, and you'll find yourself being really sensitive to the types of people that you are associated with on a social level. Okay. All right. Thank you very much, Gemini. I hope you have a fantastic month. And if you would like to support any of the work that I do, Simon Forster website is in the description below. Check that out. I've got lots of services and schools and other ways to learn astrology as well. And you can always kind of check that out. All right. Okay. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.